Hey guys, welcome back to some AFK Journey. Today's video, we're going to be looking and talking about formations, the heroes that we're using within those formations, really having some key heroes built and showing kind of how it is different from AFK Arena, coming to AFK Journey and the strategy that goes around the team and the fights in the formations. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hop in my AFK progression right here. As you can see, we're already on level 339, so we're making some pretty good progression through here. But looking at the battle, there are a couple things to remember, and I'm going to go ahead and take my team out of here, is when it comes to battles, you really do have to know who you're fighting. So as I continue to get more familiar with AFK Journey, I can really see we have Marilee back here, we have Odie back here. So two very, very strong damage dealing heroes. We also have Valen. So Valen, of course, warrior physical. Now overall, Valen is probably one of the squishier targets that we have within AFK Journey. Then we also do have Granny. Now Granny, of course, not only being a wilder tank, Granny also possesses the ability to crowd control a lot of different heroes, which is going to be very important to remember. And then, of course, for support, we have Demon right back here, which is a wilder support. So they do have two wilders in there. We have a light bearer, a mauler, or two light bearers and a mauler. So overall, the way that you can kind of strategize this is breaking down the heroes themselves. Of course, we are going to have tanks. They are the primary heroes in here that you really have to set kind of as the keystone to any formation. But looking in here, we do have a couple different tanks, and this is kind of why I want to go through this. So looking at right here, we have Thorin. Now Thorin, of course, the best tank that we see within AFK Arena, but overall, Thorin is going to be a face tank. So what I mean by that is he is going to go toe-to-toe. He is going to go one-to-one with not only the enemies that are coming over, but also with those ranged damage dealers, depending on exactly how you split this. Because you can see as we sit right here, that Thorin essentially is going to go on Granny. We have Valen, who is going to go on Tamisa, which is right here, guys, as our light bear tank. Now, the big thing with Tamisa is Tamisa runs all over the battlefield. So again, really knowing your hero. So if we take Tamisa out and put in a hero like Lucius, Lucius is going to be similar to what we see to Thorin. They are going to be an absolute face tank. So if we go ahead and start this, you'll see, boom, they face tank one-to-one, which means these heroes are not going to move outside of the range of what we have in here for the healers that we're going to go over in just a little bit with our support heroes. So making sure they're not in that range. Then, of course, Thorin dies once, comes back to life, which is the reason why Thorin is one of the most probably powerful tanks that we have. Now, of course, looking at a healer like Smokey, this again kind of builds on the formation. So if we're running double tanks in this case, you'll see Smokey will actually put his aura or his aroma right up here in the beginning. Boom. Now they're both in the healing, which I think maybe Lucius was a little bit out. Now, of course, if Smokey gets stunned, like what we just seen right there, and he's continuing to get stunned, that means that the effectiveness of the hero is going to be reduced to almost zero. He does have a little bit of heal, but overall not a super effective heal. And also in that one, you've seen that Thorin did drop down. Once Thorin is dead, the rest of that front line just literally ran through and ran us over. So even looking at a formation like this and thinking of the support heroes we have, of course, Smokey within this formation is not going to do well, which means a hero like Rowan definitely would have a much better ability to actually go in here and have the effectiveness, because Smokey overall, again, you're losing a majority of the ability for Smokey to actually survive. Rowan, of course, going to provide a lot of energy in there. And of course, in a combination with a hero like Lucius, does make a pretty big difference, because if you can buff up effectively the ability to shield with Lucius, and again, that's kind of how he works, it'll make a big difference in this formation just based on that. So of course, if we're not having a face tank or really a front tank like Lucius, a hero like Tamisa, I think it's Tamisa. Again, I kind of go back and forth with some of the names, but now we're looking at Thorin. Now, of course, this hero is not going to stay stationary. That is the thing to remember with this one, which means that Thorin is going to be taking a brunt of the damage, and you will actually see that she goes to the other side and she rides right through. Now, this exposes Rowan right there. Now, of course, going to ride kind of back and forth. Boom. There's a lot of resources that Rowan gave. But as you can see, Rowan did go down pretty quick in this formation because we are running Tamisa and how we were kind of running her in that front line. So she did kind of run away, which means, and what I usually do in a formation like this is putting Thorin more as the main one. And then, of course, we know this hero is going to move forward. That is the reason why positioning in this game is so important. Now they're both stacked on Thorin, and that's exactly what we were kind of looking for, because with them being stacked on Thorin, that leaves our tank to essentially run free while keeping Thorin up as our face tank in here, which of course he goes down right there. But overall, this is a pretty good way to run it on how you're looking. And again, depending on the tanks that you're using within the formation. So we'll go ahead and we'll set this one. We know overall that Smokey, again, is not going to be super effective in this one. Now, overall, we know we do have one support. We have a couple damage dealers right back here. And then, of course, Valen, which is a pretty easy target to take down, which means putting in someone who is going to directly affect and directly attack that target will make a difference. So even if we're dropping heroes, let's say over in this side, right here, we have Odie and we have Sicilian here. And you can see all of them are focused right here on Valen, which means we could actually have the ability to burn him down super fast if we can keep kind of the heals off of him just because of the damage. Now, ultimately in this game, you're either going to strategize with the formations, kind of like what we're doing here. Also keeping an account, depending what you have here for Iron Wall, if you want more damage, if you need a little bit more of the support with the defense, because you can see this is also a little bit of a heal in there to really take some of the heat off of the heroes that you have usually in your frontline tanks, which of course I've been running this one. Grants a powerful buff to the frontmost allied hero. Now that is usually my light bearer tank Tamisa, because she actually goes in there and then further increases the buff effect. So keeping the buffs up on these primary tanks. But again, looking at a formation like this, where you can swap two damage dealers, you'll see actually Valen takes a considerable amount of damage. And we can usually pretty quick, especially if we can get an ultimate ability off, boom, with Cecilia putting up that crowd control. Now you'll see right here, Valen got to the back line. So once Rowan went down, Valen actually went right to the back line. Once he gets to the back line, it's pretty much game over for Cecilia and for Odie. As you can see, boom, lost out pretty good right there. Now, of course, if we're looking to run, let's say, a single damage in here, we could possibly put double support just to essentially keep everyone alive, because we know exactly where Valen is going. And of course, boom, there we go. We have a lot of resources up, got stunned right there. Now we do have some crowd control in the back, but of course we are running some more support. Unfortunately, right here, we do get kind of burned down. Now I've tried this one actually a couple different times. Overall, I feel like Thorin needs to be built up a little bit further, but as you can see, we did get through a couple targets right there. So again, a few different ways that you could play this. Now remember, some of the strongest heroes that we have in this game, of course, looking at Odie, looking at Smokey, work incredibly well in a bunch of different game modes. But even thinking of a target like Granny, where we know it is a heavy, wilder tank, using a hero like Kruger can actually burn down the tank pretty quick. Stacking this over, because we know as well, looking at Cecilia, it is physical damage. So we have a big physical damage down that is actually brought on right here by Kruger. So Kruger is going to do a big defense reduction on Granny, which of course is going to allow a lot more damage to go through when we're looking at Cecilia. Now you can also do this on the other side, and that is really something to remember, is you can do this on that other side right there. We just got stunned again. Now the reason being, if you pop it on the other side, chances are you could possibly take Valen down pretty quick, because Valen with that physical defense buff makes a big difference in here. Now, of course, I mean, we almost had it right there. We actually took down a couple targets. Maybe swapping out an artifact or something like that would make a big difference. We can actually swap Kruger over here. Just like I was saying, the importance of formations, because if we have a physical down on Valen, chances are if we can get some crowd control up here, which it looks like Kruger actually went to that other side with that taunt ability. But if we can get some crowd control like that up, we have Thorin up as well. Marilee is in the back, and boom, we can get this done just like that, guys. This, again, is the big reason why we stack different heroes in different formations, is having the ability to complete 340, of course, is going to give us some more essence. giving us the ability to make progression in this game mode is literally the biggest game changer that we have within AFK Journey. You have to be pushing it all the time. So, all right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and do some summons. Now, every video we do, we are doing summons, and I was thinking about doing Vela. Now, overall, we do have 10 more days. You can see we do have 2 full summons in here. So I'm going to drop 20 summons in Vela, and then, of course, our regular scrolls we cannot use over here for the rate up. And of course, we haven't had the ability to get a copy of Vela, so it might be worth it. Then, of course, we do have a couple scrolls in here for our Epic Recruit. Still looking for this one right here, guys. Shakir is one that we have not been able to find. And also looking for Thorin. That way we can actually add a couple more copies on Thorin. So either one that we get, I would be very, very happy with. But we are going to drop over the next 10 days a couple diamonds in here, trying to pull at least a copy or two of Vela. So for the PvP aspect, we can actually do pretty well. Now there's a copy of Naru right off the bat. Now remember, 40 is guaranteed that we're going to get a copy of Vela. There's a copy of Arden. Again, just going to be a hero that we're kind of sitting on. So diamonds done, but we do have regular recruitments here. And of course, this is building up the resources that we need to actually build up the Stargazer heroes. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Boom, there's another copy of Odie. Now, Odie has been the primary hero that I've been looking for a ton of time. I'm going to continue focusing on that hero itself, even building it up in the wish list. And then here we have 4 more. We have 12 more to go for a guaranteed hero. So even though, you know, the RNG factor within these heroes, we could possibly get a copy of a hero that we're looking for. So there is our Acorn. I believe, is that one? No, that is a purple, which is a copy of, there we go, Corinne. So Corinne, of course, we do use him for some of the Dream Realm. Works incredibly well, guys. There we go. There's another Acorn, and we got to be getting close to this next copy. There's Marilee. I will definitely take that. So that is all of the scrolls that we have in here for those summons. Then, of course, the Stargazer, we are just waiting for the reset to get more copies. That way we can build them up a little bit further. But overall, looking at building up these heroes, we need essence, and we need essence like crazy, guys. It is really not stopping. Of course, here's another copy of Corinne. Again, based on some of the best builds that we have within AFK Journey, we definitely want to build them up quite a bit, getting a lot better when it comes to our equipment. And as you can see, we're already at 110. So we've hit the point where we're waiting for essence. All of these heroes, you can see right here, we're shy when it comes to getting those essence. It is really the grind. So when you're looking at building out this essence, any single place you can get that, absolutely get it. And a lot of players didn't know. When you're looking in here, you know the normal story quests where we go through them locked out right now because I haven't hit the 350 within the AFK Journey, but there are also town quests. Now, these do yield you a considerable amount of essence, and you do get quite a bit of experience. So I have actually been knocking out these town quests kind of as fast as I could because I'm trying to get that essence. Seems like at this point, I have enough experience to go ahead and level those heroes up, but I don't have enough essence. So we are definitely falling a little bit short when it comes to the essence. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.